Can you draw me a massive dick before I go? I might be able to sleep. Yes, there he is. There's little Carl, as I call him, and so does my mum. What? Alright, that was lovely, thank you guys. What's the top bit? Oh, was that the actual tuna and slice of cheese? And then giggles equals joke. That's the formula for a joke there, guys. It's been really fun chatting to you, and I hope you enjoyed the little pictures of my stories, so enjoy the remainder of the show. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Lovely, everyone. That was so wonderful. It was brilliant. I think that was one of my favorite times in this show. That was wonderful. How did you all like that? Were you on board with that? I was really good at coming up with different words for the word favorite, wasn't I? I should write the sources. So now we can sort of kick back a little bit. We've got a little bit more time. How are we doing for time, Ben?
We've got about 25, I think.
All right.
15.
Okay, I wanted to tell you a little bit about this thing that I just came up with. I just invented it. It's for all you ladies, all three of you ladies. I call it Yeah Girl disease. The emphasis on the Yeah Girl. Those in the medical profession might more commonly refer to it as a urinary tract infection, but who's counting, really? Because what happens when we all know how you get a urinary tract infection, right? Being too sexy, right? Get a little too much downtown attention. And you know the remedy for this, right? I know you know the remedy. We've all been there. It's good times, not really. The remedy is cranberries, right? Get some cranberry juice. Did you know this? It's a learning experience.
And yogurt.
And yogurt. I've heard about the yogurt one. Actually, one time the cranberries didn't take, and I was on a. This is off script. I'll get to this in a second. I just want to. Who is it back there? Who's going on? Who's
Sam.
Sam? All right, we're gonna talk later. Sam, the new guy. Yeah. All right, Sam. So there's this thing. I'm going to tell you a little bit something extra that you just reminded me of. But when you go to the health food store, they actually have like different things you can get. They're all cranberry related. But the first thing that they do, especially if it's a lady behind the counter, when you go and ask for anything cranberry related, their reaction is, "Yeah, girl. Yeah, we know what you've been up to. You've been too sexy. Gotta get some cranberry stuff. Yeah, girl." If it gets really bad, though, this is a little tough. I'm going to tell you this. This is. I've never talked about this. This is more like, sorry, girl. I was on a business trip with my boss. We were in California, and you just mentioned the yogurt thing, and it reminded me of this. I had to go to the grocery store very quickly to get some remedies. And I picked up cranberries, yogurt, garlic, and basically, and then I just went and got a whole bunch of ice cubes to try to cool down the situation. And they were so confused because I brought them all into the bathroom like I was having kind of a weird picnic in the middle of the workday. But this leads me, yes, that's a beautiful garlic clove. Am I right, everyone? Yeah. Sam, you're good at the foods. All right. So here's a little. If things do get a little bit out of control, there's another thing there's another go-to that I want to tell you about, and you can actually take one of those garlic cloves and you can peel it and slice it and then just pop it right in there.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's intense, but it works. If you've ever asked anyone, you can Google it. It gets it done. It's magnificent. But please be so careful when you do this. That's what. Because there's a direct connection. Like there's an underground railroad from like here to here. That instantly, as soon as you've put this in, they say do it before bed so it doesn't bother you so much. But it's going to taste like you've just had a kebab, like immediately, regardless of what your dietary evening has been. Is that the Underground Railroad? That's great. It's my downtown railroad. Oh, Sam, we're going to be friends. Wow, that is very generous in the booth department, actually. have a belly button though. I feel like.
The vagina department.
There we go. Well, that's a bit more accurate. Yeah, so you can peel the garlic and it does work wonders, but it does make that taste sensation happen. So this is why you do it right before bed. But please, another thing to be super careful about. You gotta count very carefully how many you put in there. If it's a really intense time and you want to put a couple in, I advocate this, but just be careful, because what can happen is you might have like a little garlic guy who's a bit of a vagabond that goes on a little bit of a mission and just goes for a little travel trip, just way up as far. And you take it right before bed. Things happen when you sleep. You forget things. This is not a thing you want to forget. You also don't want your super friend, which is what I will call them, to be down in downtown town one day and then have a question about whether there's an item of your pantry that's inside of you that you then have to explain. One time, actually, I was asked if it was a cashew, and that's an awkward conversation, because then you have to lay out firstly, like as though it's like a fetish. Like I'm worried about that. It's like, do you have a cashew in there? Like, am I storing nuts for winter? Is this a thing that we're doing now? I'm on board, but I just need to know what we're dealing with. No, unfortunately, like the sad man that horrified man between my legs had to then be explained that no, it's not actually cashews, dumbo. It's a garlic. It's a garlic clove. It's medicinal. So you don't really want to have to. It's a vamp! Yeah, actually, cool. Alright, this has been awkward. But I feel a little bit closer to you, Sam, and all of you. I feel good about this. So, now I'm going to bring up your next comic. And he's really good with awkward stuff, so I'm going to let him pick up where this is left off. Everyone, please, are you ready for this? Are you ready to wrap up the show with one of the most brilliant and visual wonderment sowers of wonderment comedians that you've ever seen? Ready for that? I really set the bar high, but I think you're going to enjoy it. Everybody, please welcome Bart-Freebairn to the stage.
Oh man, I feel like a rock star right now. This is great. How you guys going? Are you having a good time? This has been awesome, by the way. I've been loving like the vagina railroad. I just imagine like Alexandra, you put enough stuff up there, people go down and you'll be like, "What are you making? A big pizza pie? This is my baby. It's a focaccia with a couple of olives. It's delicious." That's all I have for that. I had an interesting thing happen to me today, guys, which I don't know how funny it's going to be, but let's face it, it could be great. I'm staying with a friend in Prospect, which is a suburb of Adelaide, and I kind of feel like, when you're staying with a friend, it's not your house. If the doorbell rings, it's the middle of the day, you're not there. I don't answer it. I just hang out. I was just hanging out. I was watching the new Kick-Ass 2 trailer. Like just dudes beating other dudes in costumes and stuff. So the doorbell rang and stopped, and it rang again and stopped. It rang like 4 times, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not here. I don't count. I don't have any business. And then there was like some noise in the front room, and I walked in, and there was a dude breaking in. He was like halfway through the window, and I'd just been watching this like vigilante trailer, and I just went like, "What are you doing?" Like, as if it's not obvious that he's breaking in. And he went, "Making a mistake." And I just like backed up. Yeah, get out of here, buddy. The cops will be here if you come back. Like, they're going to just be hanging out waiting for this weird hobo. So I felt like a superhero, which is pretty good, pretty impressive. That's pretty much how it rolled. It was really, I don't know, I've never encountered that before, but it was fun. Guys, I think that Adelaide is a pretty great place, and I've really been enjoying it, and the Fringe is awesome. It's almost over. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss Adelaide because it's wonderful. I encountered today, though, in the mall, I think one of the things that's great about Adelaide is I just encountered these dudes with neck tats just yelling cunt, in the mall. Just that they were like, "We're going down that alleyway. Fucking cunt!" Like, I don't know what they were doing. Like, they were on some kind of mystical journey. And I'm like, this is Adelaide, isn't it? Like, these dudes are on some kind of... walked past, and there was this just kind of rotund woman walking past at the same time, and one of them just went, "You're fucking fat!" Like they're just pointing things out. Just as pretty rough. It's one thing that I think is really interesting about our society now is that fatness is an issue. Right? Like people get down on fatness. That's the right term. But, you know, someone will see someone who's overweight and be like, "Oh, they're fucking lazy, they're shit, they're fat, they're judgmental." That's a bit fucked. I think because we don't need to be in shape anymore. You don't need to look good. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be shaped, like, you don't need to run from tigers anymore. We've got cars. Tigers are fucked against cars. Tigers are fucking shit, goddamn fat. You know, like, doesn't... The thing that I think is interesting about food, like, people love collecting stuff now. Like, love to show stuff. We're an abundant society. Love to be like, "Hey man, look at all the stuff I've collected." Like, you can be travelling, you've got a backpack with heaps of badges on it. Just each place you've been, you've got a badge, you bring it back. People will be like, "That's awesome, you've been all these places. That's really cool, you're a traveller. I've got to show this bag to Tracy. She's going to be interested in you. You've been around." But you can't do that with cheesecake. You can't be like, "Check out all the fucking cheesecakes I've eaten, guys. Check out, I'm just showing them. I just don't want to like use them or anything. I just want to show all the sweet ass cheesecakes." Oh, that's really nice. People don't go, "Whoa man, you're a cheesecake collector." They don't do that. They don't go, "Let's introduce you to Tracy. She loves cheese and cake and they're together." How do you do this? Doesn't work like that. Which is a shame. Because when you think about it, food is just energy. Food's just sunlight that's been turned into something delicious. We can't get sunlight directly, like trees. Trees all day are pretty much just going, "Nom, nom, 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 nom. Tastes like donuts." I don't know what it tastes like to trees, but, you know, they're just nomming. They're just, "Nom, nom." The whole idea of food just being energy, that's all it is, right? Like, you just, if someone's overweight, so then goes, "Oh, you're lazy." It's not really. They're just planning something. See someone who's a bit overweight, you shouldn't be like, "Fuck them." You should be like, "What are they going to do with all that? What are they going to do with all that energy? They're up to something. You know? They're up to something." See someone who's overweight, it would be amazing if you could use it all at once. Like, then you're not a lazy person, you're just someone who's getting ready for a mighty deed. You know what I mean? You look at someone like a fat kid, you would never pick on him because he could punch your head off. Like, and he'd be all skinny and just start smashing down Doritos again, just getting ready for the next mighty deed. Yeah, it is, you know, like, someone who eats, you know, like, do you guys have it where you have, like, there's a food in your past that's a little bit mystical, like a little bit wonderful that you look back on fondly and it's never the same when you go back? Like, you can't time travel with sandwiches. You know? Like, for me, it would be a Big Mac, right? It seems silly, but when I was 6, like, I was a Happy Meal kid, and I was proud of that. That was great. I got toys. Cheeseburgers are fucking amazing still. I think they're a beautiful piece of modern engineering. They're a savoury meat snack. They're like a savoury lolly. They're a savoury meat lolly, essentially, for $2, which is a sweet deal. And, I'm getting distracted by those awesome pictures. But the thing about, you know, I got to this age where I was about 6 or 7 and we were at McDonald's as a bit of a treat, and my father was like, "Hey, Bart, do you want a Big Mac meal? Like, I think you could move up." And I'm like, "Yes, yeah, I could move up." Like, as if he's looking at me and going, "Are you a man? Have you got my back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, I got your fucking back. I'm a man." Like, that moment made me feel like I had my shit together. Like it was a delicious hamburger. Like, it was huge. I mean, to me, it was huge. Like, it was a man burger. Do you know what I mean? Like a Big Mac. Like, just, ooh, fantastic. And then I could eat that shit. Like, that sunlight. Like, this crazy, like, this crazy connect, like this folding of sunlight, like sunlight that grew the wheat that made the barn, and then different sunlight that grew the cattle, and different sunlight that grew the people that harvested it, that put it together, like all folded on top of each other to make this fucking, like, once in a lifetime, like this completely unique gem of energy in the universe, that I got to eat this shit, and it made me feel like life was sweet, you know? Like I haven't figured out. Like that I was a grown-up. Like, pretty much what would happen is I would go to sleep that night, and the next day I'd wake up with a beard, and my dad would just give me a briefcase and be like, "You're grown up, go to work." And I'd be like, "Fuck, what do I do? Just walk around with this?" He's like, "Yep." I'd be like, "Cool." That's how it works. It'd be great if you had the clarity, like the understanding when you ate that thing, you know, that you couldn't go back, like that was it, like that was that magic moment and you could just savor that, you know, and use that energy for something really cool. Because a lot of the time people freak out when they eat food, like everyone's so worried about being fat. When really I don't think it matters so much. I mean, there's a massive pressure to look pretty now, but really it's all about your ideas. That's the powerful shit. Do you know what I mean? Your ideas are the powerful shit. It doesn't matter what shape, body you are. It's the cool stuff that's in your head that you push out into reality. And to do that, you need sandwiches. Do you know what I mean? You need sunlight to push that out. You think about how many fucking like iced coffees and sausage rolls and pasties went into building this fucking building. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is just meat pies we're standing amongst. You know? We're just standing amongst like meat pies, like iced coffee is the mortar, like sandwiches, like lollies. And the men who built that, like they're built out of that as well. Do you know what I mean? But they're using those sandwiches to build this fucking weird building that no one really hangs out anymore, which is a shame. It's like iced coffee goes into running Adelaide. Do you know what I mean? Adelaide's this big fucking like steel organism just pumping iced coffee through it, and people are just fucking getting shit done. You know, just laying bricks. You know, sunlight turned into iced coffee, laying bricks, which is other sunlight. We're just living in just a really bright place. No wonder you need Oakleys, your tradies, your mad cunts. Just forging reality with sandwiches in your imagination. Step it up, jet pilot to the max. But I like that idea, right? Like, you can eat this perfect sandwich. I like the idea. I mean, it would be amazing if you could use all your energy in one deed, then your weight wouldn't matter at all. I think it's so interesting that people, like, use their energy for shit stuff. You know, like, Christmas is an awesome time. You get to have all this beautiful food, and it's food that's made with love. It's a situation with people that you probably don't even realise how special it is to be with them at the time. But as you get older, you realise that as people drop off, they fall away. The turkey that your mum has made is fucking awesome because it's this moment you get to be with her and she's put care into it. She knows that you're coming over to eat and you're going to be with your siblings, with your loved ones. You know, you get to eat that turkey, that potato salad, whatever it is, you know. That sunlight that she's put her love into. And then people freak out about the fact that they've had too much food over Christmas. And so they creep off to a gym to work it off. Do you know, it almost feels like you're like cheating on your parents with some kind of whore. Like your mum going, hey, what did you use that energy for? Did you go to the beach with your friends? Did you like pat puppies? Did you make your girlfriend a really cool hat? No, I was just in this weirdly lit place with bright sneakers on where people were judging me and I was just doing this weird fucking movement. Just like I was wanking it out of me. I was just shamefully like jizzing the energy out of me because I want to be loved, but I am. I know I'm confused. I should have just patted the dog. You know? That duck is copying a sweet load. I like the idea that you could use all your energy in a mighty deed. Then it wouldn't matter what you look like. I mean, it's silly now that people are so judgmental. Maybe it's a primal thing, like people are judging because they're thinking like you're not a physical specimen that's going to work in the wild. We're not in the fucking wild though, do you know what I mean? Who cares? That you get to have that sandwich, right? Whatever that moment is, whatever that food is for you, that one moment when you realise, you have the clarity of thought to realise that you're eating that perfect sandwich and that you don't want to use it for anything. Like you want to hold on to it. And you just spend your life holding on to it, just thinking, I'm just collecting this, I'm going to store this sunlight. I'm going to be like a container of joy. That's what it is. And you just keep storing it and keep storing it. You just hold on to all this delicious food, all this energy, you've got all this potential. You're ready for a mighty deed. You could do anything and everyone's just following you around, just going, what are you going to do with all that fucking energy, man? You're like a little sun just walking around on the earth. You've got all that power. What are you going to do? Just one day you just start powering up like Dragon Ball Z style, just going to Super Saiyan, and you just fucking jump, just jump into the sun. You just jump back into the sun. You just return to the source. And everyone's like, you know what? That's appropriate. That's proper recycling. Do you know what I mean? Fuck those faggot Priuses. This is how you really do it. Jump into the sun. Alright. Where do you want to go from here? think I'm kind of done. That's sort of the story, pretty much. So how much time have we got left?
4 minutes.
All right, I got something. The other thing that I kind of think is quite interesting, I suppose, I'm really interested in the interaction with imagination, which is essentially where all things in reality come from. You think of it, and then you use the energy that you eat to turn it into something. That's the cool thing about humans. We're just pretty much an interaction with infinity and condoments, which is cool. All right. On some kind of level, like we can afford to be now, because we've sort of won. Like we're massive apex predators. Like we are the bosses. Do you know what I mean? We're all comfortable. We shower. We get our meals. We got to the point where other predators, like we can feel sorry for them. We can be like, oh, tigers, they're so pretty. They're so beautiful. They're just, we need to have more of them. They're fucking nasty. Like they're nasty. And if people heard that tigers would have developed tools, we would probably charge the jungle with handguns. Do you know what I mean? Like, if an animal does something that seems like it's got one over us, like the next day humans come back on them hard. Do you know what I mean? The day after Steve Irwin died was a dark day for stingrays. Do you know what I mean? Stingrays were just hanging out and just getting ripped out of their environment, just going, fuck you, cunt! Don't mess with our bros! Panthers, they're beautiful. Panthers, I just love them. I like that sporting teams, which is really like, sport is a bit of a proxy for battle. It's a connection that the way that we're still a bit bloodthirsty. It's a bit, you get to see two people go to war, but not really. They're just wearing fancy shorts. You get to be involved in that. It's a bit of tribalism. You see people fucking kicking, fucking smashing you. Next weekend we're gonna fucking smash you. Go the fucking Eagles, fucking smash your cunts. If you're really attached to that, you're not involved though. Remember, you're just a fat man wearing the shirt. Watching the telly, which is kind of cool, but you still get connected, which is interesting. You just love it. You can dig that. I don't completely like it. One of the things that I do like is that people, they get pissed, their team's won, and they're in the city dressed up, and they're just there just cheering for their team, and it's usually a sweet animal they're cheering for. They're like, yeah, go to the fucking Tigers, go to the fucking Tigers, mate, yeah. And I just like to think that they're not really cheering for the sporting team, but they're just genuinely enthusiastic for Tigers. Like they do need to support them, like they're genuinely like, they're just beautiful cats, we should be so hard on them, let them eat some of us, fucking, come on, the Tigers. Like they're just one step away from that Zen monk who was a proper supporter of Tigers, who came across, that scene. He looked down the bottom of a cliff, and there was like a mother tiger who had died, and there was two young baby tigers who were surely going to starve, and he threw himself off the cliff to kill himself to support their life. That's a proper tiger supporter. Not a cunt with a scarf. So. I like it. The thing that I like about sport probably is that it's a doorway to the infinite, in a way. Like that it can make you feel fantastic occasionally, even if you're not playing it. That sometimes at the end of the game, when it's really close, shit can happen that's never happened before. Like that someone can kick something in a way that's never been kicked before, and it can win the game, and everyone just goes crazy because they could never see that happening. The odds are so slim, like it pushes infinity out, it makes it bigger. And everyone's just like, no fucking way, I just feel like it makes them stop thinking about their shit life, and they just go, fucking yes. This is why I love sport. I love sport because I feel like this sometimes. But really, that's why anyone likes anything, right? Because they've seen God through it. I love motorboating because there was just this time when it just made me stop thinking about shit. It was amazing. People do that for sport. That kick just lives on, It's something that people kind of worship a little bit. And the funny thing about it is people want more out of that moment than they can usually get. Like after that stuff is finished, they try to get the dude and interview him, for his amazing kick. And they're like, Macca, tell us about that moment when you just did that kick. Like we all stopped thinking about our shit lives and you just won the game. Can you tell us about it? And it's always disappointing. He's always like, I was running and I fucking seen the ball, just feel bright, it's been a tough day, but your ankles have been playing up, but I just kicked it up through there and she went through no problem. And I think the boys did a good job, and I'd like to thank Gatorade. And that's it. And everyone's like, that's a good one. It'd be cool if he actually did. Like, I mean, he's got a god leg, he doesn't have a god head. It'd be cool if he did have a god head. You know, like if he actually stepped that shit up. And they go like, Macca, tell us about that moment. He's like, well, you know, we're just all one consciousness seeing through 1,000 different facets, like looking in on each other. And, you know, we're just a singularity. It's in the future. It's pulling us towards that point where we'll all be one. Time isn't linear. It's all happening at once. And I just want to thank Gatorade. All right, guys, see you later.
Bart-Freebairn, how awesome was that? Bart, Hadley and I was talking, that was one of the best things we've ever seen you do. That was really brilliant. Was it not brilliant? That was great. So this is the end of the show. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody who was on the show. If we can give a quick round of applause. Firstly to our artists. We have guest artists Claire, Sam, and Edgar, led by Hallie Donaldson. That was excellent. And to all of our comics. Oh, I'm getting all of our comics. You knew them. You hear their names. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night up in Alexandra. Have a nice